Welcome back to the channel, guys. You already know who it is. I don't need any introduction. It is Fashion Nova's Brad Pitt, and I wanted to help you out today. I wanted to help all you guys out today. I wanted to make a video, a definitive video on how to mix your beats. You guys are like, probably, who is this guy trying to tell me all this stuff? If you guys don't know who I am, just let the work speak for itself. Link in the description to my discography. And if you like how the mixes sound, whether you're a beginner, whether you've been doing this forever, I'm going to show you guys a great way to mix your beats. So every beat's just yamming. And real quick, if we get this video 2,000 likes, I'm going to be sending a bunch of commenters in the comment section my new Armor Core kit, which I've been using in all my beats probably for the last year since I dropped the kit. Link for that in the description below. And also, if you want to try out the kit, there's a beta version, also link in the description below in my Discord. So go ahead, go check that out, see if you like it. And yeah, so I figured the best way to do this is show you guys how to mix is just pull up a beat. And what I did is I went ahead of time and I just defaulted everything. So we got nothing on the master. Don't worry about the ones that like, this is just the tech. Everything else is just default. All the levels, everything, every sound I just brought in. And I figured this would be just, let me show you as I do it, and that'll be a way easier way to explain. So here's how the beat sounds with no mixing, period, none. Just you brought in the sounds and you just clicked in a note, and that this is what it plays at, right?
Ready?
It's cool. It could use a little improvement, and I already know what you're thinking. Cody, why do you got one earphone in? How are you gonna do it? So shut the fuck up. You won't struggle like me. Look, this just happened. This just happened to me. It won't focus. The earphone broke, but listen, I don't need it. We're gonna be able to get everything done that we need to get done. So what we have here to start off is just everything's brought into the mixer, right off rip. But this is what I do. There's a couple ways to do this. People always, back in the day, people argued soft clipper or fruity limiter if you're using FL Studio. It doesn't matter which one you use. It's really not that important as long as you're just using one or something comparable to that. I used to use the T-Rex clipper, it was called, just something like that, just to give it that perceived loudness. All you gotta do is throw a clipper on, default, perfectly fine. Or if you wanted to do a limiter, so like for soft clipper, that's all you got to do for that. If you wanted to do a fruity limiter, if you like the way that sounds more, here's the way you would do that. It would be called gain staging. So you would have that here. You would come into the comp, turn everything down, and turn all these down, and then you would just play with this gain knob. So here's how it would sound like. Let me just play it and you'll see. It wasn't even on the master. I'm a dumb ass. You know what I meant though. Here's the limiter. So you go here. Stupid. Now, a little bit goes a long way. This isn't the way that I use. I used to use this way. Like I said, it doesn't matter. If you use this way, this is a perfectly fine way. But if you did want to gain stage, that's how you would do it. So let's just go with the real simple soft clipper. Here's one thing I want to make very clear. There's somebody who's telling you there's one single right way to mix your beats. Completely false, because music's subjective. A lot of songs go for certain aesthetics where the bass is cranking and completely overpowering the rest. Sometimes it doesn't. Then they want room for other things to breathe. Sometimes you want the melody really quiet. Sometimes you want the melody louder than the other stuff. It's all dependent, but I'm just gonna help you guys out here with like just giving that perceived loudness, and the best way to get it to an artist or to put it out if you were just gonna drop it and wanted people to hear it. You just wanted that best crisp quality sound. There's different ways to go about it. You could literally boost some of the high end if you want a little bit more crispiness on the high end. You could boost some of the low end if you want a really clipped type of sound. It could be a little bit of a mix of the both. For this, let's just leave it on default and then go into leveling. Definitely, this is very important. Make sure everything is brought in here and just go one by one. It's all up to you how you want to do it. I just do it all at once. I don't need to solo anything, but if it makes it easier for you, just come over here. If you hold control and you left click, you could solo stuff and then just do it one sound at a time. This is a pretty good mix. You use my kits, all the sounds are going to be leveled pretty good as far as like how my sounds come default. So you could kind of play with this if you wanted to boost it a little bit more, boost the volume up, or do it from the boost knob here. Either way works. Let's see. All right, here's really good. I don't really need to touch it that much. Where else we got? Clap. Clap, this is a personal preference. I like it a slightly louder. I just like my drums being really loud and my melody being slightly less loud than everything. So it just makes everything feel like it's yeah. But clap, definitely want to be pretty up there. Don't worry about where the lines are. Just keep a mental note. But if it's clipping really hard, if that's how you wanted it to sound, you're not wrong. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. If that's how you want it mixed, it's not wrong. There's definitely a lot of heavy hardcore songs where it's mixed like that, where the 808s are just clipping really hard. It's all preference, bro. Hi-hats, turn them up for sure. They don't got to be as loud as the clap or the 808, but you definitely want them up there so you can hear some shit. What else we got? This was the melody before, my bad. I should have done this before. If you're gonna have the drums in there, it's good to see if you have a low end and if it's clashing really hard. Here's something I see a lot of people do off default. They just drag this right here and they set it and forget it because they see other producers do that. You shouldn't really do that too much. If your melody has low end that's not really intrusive, if you're introducing it and it's not clashing with your 808, those two things, your melody and your 808 aren't clashing, try not to take out low end if you don't have to, or just enough, even if you just make it a little subtle and you roll it off. So like there is like right about good. The issue is you start getting a really metallic sounding melody or really thin sounding melody when you start moving this up too much. It works for certain aesthetics, but for the most part, just keep that in mind. You kind of want that low end in if it's not clashing and taking up too much space from your 808. Just teeter-totter and just use your ear because it's going to be different for each melody. Some melodies might have more low end than other melodies, so there's no real right way to tell you other than keep in mind and don't just default to just taking out all the low end in the melody because you think your drums need to have that spot. Supporting snares, any type of stuff like that, or your perks. This will go for your perks, your open hats, accent snares, all these other sounds. Like this one doesn't have too many sounds, but say like open hat or like this accent snare here we got. You definitely want that loud. I want to hear it. I don't really hear it. Don't be afraid to pan your like supporting sounds. Like I said, those perks, those accent snares, open hats, just pan them a little bit. You get a little bit more room in the center of your mix for your drums and maybe some of the melody. And the thing that you might have saw before, sorry I'm jumping around, with the melodies, I separated it a little bit. Here's my thought process, right? I want my melody to not be super loud, how you obviously hear the 808 and the clap and all the drums are like going up here into the mix. You want your melody, I like mine up there, but not too high up there. I want to have most of the drums being the prominent thing in my track. And that's all, like I said, personal preference up to you guys. If you want your melodies to be the main focus of everything, then turn your melodies up. But here's a good way, good tip to have your melodies still feel loud and have their own space and feel like it's not just like really lowered, the levels are really lowered. Separate the audio a little bit. That's what this tab here does. If you see up here on the top left, when I go, you can see the separation of the audio. Separate a little bit. And what it does exactly what it sounds like it's doing. It's separating it, pushing it more a little bit to the sides. Make sure you have a little bit more room in the center for those drums, and then the melody, just that little bit of side action there. You see it? A little bit of side to side action there gives it perceived loudness. You're turning it down and it doesn't even feel like it because you're turning it down and widening it, which it's compensating for you turning it down. What else we got here? We got sound effects. Sound effects kind of whatever. Do whatever you want with them by ear. I have it low for the transition sounds. And then there's just another synth that comes in. And this is more supporting, so it's just turned down. Probably like this even. So what do we got all together? We got soft clipper, and let me just take it a step farther. Let's just decide we want the high end a little bit higher, just so I can show you. It's this simple, bro. Don't go overboard. Don't do no shit like this. Don't do no shit like this. All these little things you're gonna do, if you're gonna, especially on the master, just be a little subtle with it. Give your own sauce, and you guys should experiment, add different things, small things, and some of them give it that signature mix, your signature mix. These are good base templates to go off of, or rules, and then you could break those rules and then make it your sound. I got the sound effects just kind of going subtly. You could hear what's going on as it drops here with like this vision sound effect, the night vision Call of Duty sound. And that kind of wraps it up as far as mixing goes. Here's how the mix is sounding now with all the stuff we added, and then I'm gonna play it with everything muted that we had before so you can hear back to back.
Ready?
My right ear is telling me the mix is pretty good, and let me just do a test for you guys to show you what it sounds like without that other stuff or without any of the. Let's just do it without, yeah, just leveling. I'm gonna leave everything else the way it was. So let's do no leveling, nothing on the master, and this is how it sounds. It just doesn't hit as hard. Think about it this way. You're gonna be playing these beats. If you are playing these for artists, you're gonna be playing them, and they're gonna be playing beats from everybody. They're gonna have a pack of 500 beats from everybody. You don't want your beat to come up and everything just sound quiet and subtle. Even if it's a crazy beat, your first thought isn't, ooh, this is making me want to rap. This is making me want to move. You gotta have that perceived loudness. You gotta have all your sounds really hitting people in the face without being too dominant and start distorting and degrading the sound, unless that's what you're going for. You guys get my point. Listen, take the tips in here. Get this video 2,000 likes. Send in this armor core kit you see over here. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. Like, look. There's a lot of stuff in here. 2,000 likes, send a bunch of commenters this. I love you guys. Bye.